Hi guys, update is how things are going. Long overdue. I think it was the 10th of June the last time updated. At the time I had was suspected high ankle sprain in my left ankle. I know mostly it's been my right ankle I've had bother with. It's always been my left knee, but it was my left ankle this time. And it ended up being confirmed as a high ankle sprain the following week. And I was in a walking boot for 4 weeks, which wasn't too bad because the average time is anywhere from 4 to 8, on average in 6. But I had it on 4 weeks. I got that off free. Then I wore an ankle support for about 2.5 weeks. Well, all up until last Friday, which I haven't been wearing one since then. And my ankle's doing fine. It aches a little bit sometimes on the night time if I've been on my feet a lot, as does my knee, but that's down to the condition in my knee. I was also at the hospital this week for a checkup on my heart after my heart attack, which was nearly 3 months ago. I'm doing great. I haven't had any angina in that time since I had the heart attack, which is quite thankful because it was actually quite a bad heart attack. The treatment they give us then is at the moment solved the problems. I'm having no angina. My blood pressure is stable. The odd little asthma attack. I had a bit of an asthma attack the other day, which happened to be the morning I was going to the hospital for my heart. I did mention it, and he said it's unconnected. I obviously still have to go about my knee every now and again. I said in, I think, me last video, not my last video, the one before that, I bought myself a walking stick. I'm still using it but mainly on the night time, during the day. If I'm at the shop, I tend to take it with us because sometimes my knee will start to ache or my ankle starts to ache, and it can sometimes get a bit swell up, like puffy swelling. But I'm doing quite well. I'll show you getting around when I get up. Just put that out the road. Show you my leg and ankle. I'll just move that over so what's in the rest of. I say nothing on my knee. Just my sock and a pair of flip flops on my feet. A bit twinge in my knee there, which I get. I'm actually feeling, to be honest, fitter now at the moment than I have in the last couple of years. Although I didn't have a lot of angina, apart from probably this year I have had quite a bit prior to the heart attack, and the last week or so prior to the heart attack I had quite a bad angina and quite a few attacks. I'm feeling a lot fitter myself. I'd feel as since when I first had it I was getting tired very easily, which I was starting to feel tired quite easily anyway. Since I've had the heart attack, I'm not feeling that. I wouldn't say my diet's changed dramatically. Wouldn't say I'm really eating a great deal more healthy because of the time I'm eating salads and that, so that's good. As I say, my knee itself, well, it's not too bad at the moment. The warmer weather helps. I'm not finding it's as achy. It still aches on the night time. Sometimes when I get up in the morning, it's a bit stiff and I have to sort of rub it to get it going, and that's just down to the wear and tear in the arthritis. I had an MRI on me, an MRI checkup on my knee. Well, I'd done my knee and my second ankle one, which I had one on my ankle, I think the 14th of June. Then they'd done another one 3 weeks later to see how it was doing. And then I got the results after that. And they've done my knee at the same time. They said my knee hasn't deteriorated any since last year, which is a good thing. The arthritis, they said it is, he says it is definitely arthritis. It is arthritis and wear and tear in the knee. So he said, really speaking, he says you will at some stage need a knee replacement. And we asked how I felt about that, and I said I want to, because I'm only in my mid-40s. Well, I'm 48 actually. I turned 48 in May. Which means, yes, anyone who wants to do maths, I was born in 1970. I said I'd like to wait as long as I can, and they said they're quite happy with that, but would also like to get at least 6 months from me having the heart attack to me even considering surgery, to see how that goes. I said obviously they'll monitor it, and if my mobility is starting to deteriorate because of the knee, they may look at doing surgery sooner because of my heart, because I don't want to wait until it gets too bad and it's putting strain on my heart getting about. Also, they don't want to wait until I start having more heart problems. They said after having the stent and the angiogram and that, I've actually recovered a lot better than they thought I would. You know, the consultant said he actually anticipated his needing bypass. You know, because of the fact that I'd had so many angina attacks. I'd had like 3 heart attacks prior to this one, although they'd all been very minor ones. And the first one was probably not quite so minor, but the second 2 were quite minor. I was up and about in a couple of days. The one I had in March, I was in hospital a week, I think, or just over, thereabouts. And it took us about a month really to start feeling better. But now I feel great. You know, I feel quite fit. You know, if it wasn't for my knee and that, I would actually feel like going out for a run. I cannot do that because of my knee. You know, if I walk a long distance, my knee starts to hurt us. So I tend to, if I'm just walking, as I say, and I've probably said in that, if I'm just doing short distance walking, I tend not to take anything. If I'm want to be walking a lot, I tend to take my stick. It's a fold up stick, so I tend to put it in the bag and just carry it. If you know, then sometimes if I'm thinking, I'm going to be walking a lot, I'll sometimes use the stick, and that sometimes stops it actually hurting us in the first place. So, you know, it just depends. Sometimes in night time, if we'll sometimes go out for a meal or something like that, if we're walking, I'll tend to take a stick because at night time my knee does tend to ache, especially being in the shop all day. So I try to sit down as much as possible, but I like to be on my feet because I feel better for it. If I sit down too long, I tend to find my back starts to hurt us because of having, you know, back problems, wear and tear in the back. So, but that's how things are going. I've had no more bother with my wrist. I was quite surprised. I thought that would start actually affecting us when I was on the crutches, but it didn't. I was in the walking boot 4 weeks. I was on crutches 2 weeks, and I was using like my stick after that just to help us. I was non-weight bearing for a week, weight bearing with crutches for a week. Then I was walking slowly. If I was doing long distance, a lot of walking. Yeah, the first week I got the walking boot off, I was advised to use crutches. I walked a lot. I did for a couple of days, and I thought they're getting on my nerves. And I managed to get around all right without. I had the support on for 2. Well, I got the support on the Wednesday. I stopped wearing it like 2 weeks on the Friday, which was last Friday. I've been a week without it. I've never even put it on once. You know, they said if my ankle starts to hurt us or aches, you know, I've took it to work with us. I've also had my knee support with us at work, and I've started to leave a stick. I tend to take my fold up stick with us because I can't drive at the moment, and so I tend to go in with the wife and she'll drive us. If not, I'll walk in or I'll get a taxi. You know, I'm feeling, I'll be bothered to walk today. I'll just get a taxi. But that's how things are going. Lee and Foot Guy, I'm glad you were doing better. I'd like to thank everyone who's commented and asked how I'm doing. At the moment, I'm doing great. Let's hope it stays that way. Let's hope no more problems with the heart, no more knee problems, ankle problems, back problems, wrist problems. I know I'm going to have bother with them. I know like my knee will flare up. You know, at the moment, it's doing great. Probably movement wise, I'm probably what I'm normally at. Stiffness level wise is probably normal, as it always is. But at the moment, I'm not finding it's as painful. But we're getting a lot of warm weather, so it could be down to that. It could be that it's settling down a bit, which I said it can do. It can flare up at any time. You know, obviously if I hurt it, a slight twist or strain will set it back, and I'll end up back on the crutches, possibly in a brace or in a splint again. Let's hope that doesn't happen, but that's how things are going at the moment, guys. Good luck to anyone. If anyone's got any questions, please feel free to post. Sometimes I'm busy and I don't, unfortunately, have time to answer them. I think someone did post and asked about seeing us taking my ankle boot on and off. I tend to get a bit short-winded when I do that, so I tend not to do it. I tend to put it on. The first week I had it on, I wore it actually 24/7. I wasn't even in bed, so I actually slept on my own that week because I was kicking my wife, so she preferred not to be kicked for some reason. I don't know why, but that's how things are going. I say My ankle's doing. I've never had a twinge or anything off it. I had more pain when I was in the boot. As soon as I got the boot off, the pain seemed to start to subside over the next week. So it's doing great at the moment. My knee's doing quite well. My other leg is doing all right at the moment. My wrists are fine. My back's fine. My angina's great. Well, my angina's at the moment non-existent. Let's hope it lasts. I'm doing great with the with my heart. I am still on monthly appointments at the moment, which I will be, I think, up till at least September, see how things go. But at the moment, I'm doing great and I feel healthy. Thank you, guys.